Hello everybody and welcome to the Sovereign Village Project. I'm doing a little bit of observation down here in our forest and getting some energy out of Holly for the night. And I wanted to share this little observation that's really relevant to a lot of the projects we're tackling right now, because first and foremost on our minds right now is how do we feed our animals in an era of, so many attacks on the food supply and on the supply chain that will probably pretty quickly render grains inaccessible to us, either financially or just completely not available at all, meaning we're not going to be able to feed our animals. So we have to solve that problem on our property and really determine how we're going to be feeding them. And one of the main solutions that we're studying up on and learning is tree hay. Basically, the idea is that leaves are really edible for a lot of species in the winter or in any time of year, and I've found that my rabbits do really well off of it. And so I had a little observation down here that I wanted to share, because one of the problems we're having is storage, because a regular bale of hay is tightly compressed by a machine, and so you can fit a massive amount of feed in a small barn and keep it sheltered, but that's not true for tree hay, which is just basically cut off branches. So what we found is down here in this holler, there are still trees that have a lot of dead leaves on them. We're almost in February, it's the end of the winter. So I've been trying to pay attention to why they're holding up so well, and I think it's pretty obvious. They're down deep in this holler, they have access to really good water right there, and they're sheltered by much larger trees. What I see is a pattern that I can mimic in my system, which is planting out, first of all, determining what these species are and why they're doing so well, and if I can find a similar species that works for tree hay, but also realizing that if I mimic these conditions in some way, maybe opening up more light but leaving them protected from wind and such, then I can actually make it so they themselves become the storage of tree hay. So I could plant trees, I could pollard them where you cut them off at the tops and they regrow with lots of little smaller branches. That would be a really good system to use with that, and to keep them in kind of this forested setting. For example, in this very forest, I could clear out a sunny patch there on the south side, allow a lot of light in, and just plant a row of these tree forage trees, like really high value willow or things like that that have a lot of protein in them, and use that to feed my animals all winter long. So just a thought, we're going to experiment around with it and we'll report on whatever we discover. So hope that's useful for y'all and helps you get thinking of how you're going to feed your animals. Alright, in the meantime, y'all stay safe, be well, and happy homesteading.